So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can use online arbitrage to make money from home when you're selling video games. We're going to be buying video game lots off of eBay and selling the individual items back onto eBay. So online arbitrage is a really good way to make money from home because it's very simple. All you have to do is go onto eBay, and you can also go onto other websites like GameStop or Amazon or whatever, find items that are priced really low and sell them back onto eBay for even higher prices. This is arbitrage at the end of the day. So I'm going to tell you how to look for items that are resellable back onto eBay and how to calculate your profit. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in video game lot. Now the reason why we type in video game lot instead of just video games in general is because when you look up lots, there are multiple items in the listing, and usually when there's only one item in the listing, there's a higher chance that the seller looked up that individual item and is pricing it according to market value. But when people list lots like this, they're less likely to go over each individual item and add that to the overall price. You may find that when people are selling lots, they'll still sell them at a generalized price. So each game is $5 onto the listing, and that's the ones we're kind of looking for. We're kind of looking for those sellers that are just selling off a huge load of video games and not really caring about what price they get. So we need to look up a listing that will get us exactly what we want. So we're going to start off with PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 is really good because there are a lot of PS4 games that hold their value, kind of the opposite of Xbox One. PS4 games just tend to hold their value a lot better. So we have 13,000 listings that are PlayStation 4 lots. We need to get this number down. The reason why we want to get this number down is because we only want to see listings that are going to help us find items that are flippable. Because about 99% of the 13,000 listings are not worth our time. So if we can get this number down by putting in keywords to help us, it's going to go a really long way. The first thing we're going to do is going to newly listed. The reason why we do newly listed is because we want to get the first listings available on eBay. If there are any kind of listings that are days or weeks old, more likely that another reseller looked through that listing and determined that that listing was not profitable. So we're just going to take their advice and not even look at those listings either. So we're down to 9,200 results. We're going to go into buy it now, because with buy it now, we don't have to deal with auctions. With auctions, you have to be a little bit more on top of that with bidding wars and things like that. Just not something I personally want to deal with. We're going to put our condition as very good. Very good is the only condition you really need. Like, new, good, acceptable are kind of arbitrary in this space. And the reason why we don't do any kind of new is because when something's new, people are more likely to want to know the value for when they're selling it. So we're down to 3,100 listings, which is great. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll through these listings and we're going to find keywords that are not good towards what our goal is. And our goal is to find lots that are resellable. So we're just going to scroll through here. So you see there are some things like, for example, this. This is not what we want. This is not even the same console. This is a PS3. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up here and we're going to type -PS3. And the reason why we do that is because what the dash symbol does is any word that comes after the dash means that any listing that has the word PS3 in it, it will not show up. So we just took out a lot of listings. You see, now we're down to 1,600. We're going to do the same thing with PS2 and PS1. Now, you can find profitable items with PS2 and PS1, except I'm just looking at PS4 because it's going to be easier going down those listings. You can replace all this with PS3, PS2, PS1, or any kind of console, but I like to go console by console. So 16,000 down to 12,000. So this is a great start. Let's keep going. So you see there's a lot of stuff that you can just tell is useless. Like, for example, these 3 games are no more than $10 and the seller got that about right. So we're just going to keep scrolling. It seems that there's not a lot of other things that we need to worry about. So we're going to scroll all the way back to the top and really go through each listing one by one as we're scrolling down to see if we can find anything that's profitable. I'll scroll for a few seconds and then I'll jump cut to when I find something interesting. So I came across this listing right here. It is a few days old, but just for the example, I'm going to show you how to look up each individual item and determine if the price is good for you. So it's $36, but we have to add in that $7 of shipping and the tax. So what we're going to do is just go into it like if we were to buy it. So we know it's $46.55 out the door. So we're going to go back into the listing and we're going to see, we know that the Show 17 and 2K20 is not worth anything. But what we're going to do is look up these 4 items. As you get more and more well-versed in this, you're going to know what video games have value. I know that Sims goes for about $10. I know this game goes for about $10, but I don't know the value of these 2 games. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into another tab, and we're going to type in one of the games. It was Stick It to the Man, PS4. You buy it now, so no auctions, very good condition. Scroll all the way down to sold. There was 28 listings and 68 sold. So this has a near 300% sell-through rate. But you can see here that for some reason there's a lot of Crash Bandicoots. I don't know why that is. That is pretty interesting. But you can see here that a pre-owned copy goes for about $10 shipped. So we know that that's not worth our time. Then we have Rocket Arena. Oh, I closed out of eBay there. And I'm on a guest account. That way I don't get any kind of previous sales history or any kind of algorithm. This is completely raw, and I'm just looking up games as I go. So we have Rocket Arena for the PlayStation 4. We see that even brand new, it's going for $7 shipped. So we can determine that this listing is probably not good enough. So we're going to look for another one. So I did a little bit more digging, and it turns out that there aren't really any kind of listings that really stuck out to me. So we're just going to look for a different kind of console, and that's completely fine. Most of the times when you do this, you're not going to be finding something that's worth anything. So we're just going to type in something like Xbox One. We'll go Xbox One lot. Do newly listed, buy it now, condition very good. We're just going to keep scrolling through here. Sometimes I'll take out the very good, sometimes though. Just in case there's not a lot of stuff that I'm really looking for, I'll take out the condition guidelines. That way I can still find stuff, because sometimes people will sell stuff for parts that aren't really broken, and you can usually sniff that kind of stuff out. So that's what I'm doing here. We see here's a bundle. Looks like Fallout 4, that's not worth anything. Grand Theft Auto, no. Sea of Thieves, maybe. Skyrim, yeah, none of these are worth anything. But just to be safe, I'm going to look up Sea of Thieves, because I've never sold a used copy. I've only ever sold new copies, so I don't know how much a used copy is going to go for. So you can see there's 69 listed and 56 sold. So really good sell-through rate, but you can see that it really only goes for like $10, $12. So we know that this listing is not good enough. So we'll keep scrolling. So this one's a really interesting listing. It's a red Xbox One controller. It is missing its back cover, which is not a good thing, especially since this is a different color. Oh, I know, it's right there. Sorry. Never mind. It was not missing its cover. So we have a few DS games. I know that Call of Duty Black Ops doesn't go for anything. This goes for about 15, but I've never heard of Fossil Fighter, so we're going to look up Fossil Fighters. Fossil Fighters DS. Oh, wow. Seems that this game goes for good money. 69 listed and 217 sold. So this has over a 350% sell-through rate. Wow, so it seems like the Champions version, which this is not the Champions version, goes for $65. So that's a huge bolo. But it seems that the OG one goes for $30. So we have 30 plus 15. So we're already at 45. And this controller, let's try to find the actual model of that controller. Do Xbox One controller. And here's another key. If you do quotation marks and then a word, it will only show listings that have that specific word in it red. So we're going to do that. Another trick, just do OEM. That way you kind of, actually, OEM's probably not. So now we have all of these. We're going to go into use. and then sold. We're looking for, we don't want any series, so we're going to do dash series to get rid of all the series controllers. So we're looking, it's not that. So just scroll. It looks like this one is the correct one. Yeah, I think so. So this goes for right around $25. So what we're going to do is we're going to add up all the items and see if there's money to be made. So I have my calculator right here. This is really, really simple, guys. All you got to do is type in how much everything costs. So $25 for the controller, plus $20 for Mario Bros, plus the, what was it, $30 for Fossil. Let me check that again. See, I'm doing everything live here just to show you the process I go through when I'm doing something like this. Usually I just throw on some music and I'm able to just go to work. All right, yeah, so it goes for 30, let's just say 32, just to be safe. Plus, wait, 30, 25, plus 20, plus 32, 77. Let's see if Call of Duty Black Ops actually goes for anything. I never really sold any of those before. Call of Duty Black Ops. Yes, I don't want anything from the Xbox or PlayStation. So 136 listed and 208 sold. Oh, wow. Okay, so this actually does go for some money. So we're going to add 15. Is that correct? I have a memory of a goldfish. Yeah, so about 15. So here is our total. $92 worth of stuff with $50 buy-in. Here's how I am able to calculate my profit. I take whatever the revenue is going to be and I multiply it by 0.7. And the reason why I do that is because my selling costs on eBay is about 30%. There's the 15% fees, then there's the average percentage for my shipping, and then there are the extra stuff like the shipping supplies, return rates, anything that goes into selling that's not just the shipping costs and the fees. So we do that times 0.7, we minus the actual total, which is 54 instead of 50. So we minus it by 54. So we'll make a $10 profit. The revenue was $92. So we divide that by 92. And our profit margin would be 11%. 11% is a bit too low for me. I try to be at right around 16%. That gives me enough buffer where I can still make a good amount of money. So what I'm going to do is I am going to contact the seller and I'm going to ask him if he is able to lower the price for me so that I can buy it and make good money off it. So I'm going to do that off camera right now. Okay, I just messaged the guy. I did it on my actual eBay account because remember, this is just a guest account. I offered him 44 instead of 50. That way, instead of my profit being 10.2, it's 16.2. And then with the 92 revenue, my profit margin will go up to 17.5%, which is really healthy for me. So we'll see if he gets back, and if he does, we'll make some money. So we're just going to go back here and we're just going to do it all over again. We're going to look for some items. So I looked through a few more Xbox lots and couldn't really find anything. So we're just going to look for something else now. I think we're going to do some Xbox 360. So we'll do Xbox 360. I'm going to get ahead of this and just get rid of the lots that I know aren't going to be worth anything, like the pick and choose lots, newly listed. So let's go. I'll jump when I find something. So I found a really good lot. It was about 80% of the way down from the first page. This for $70, but after you pay tax, you're looking at more $76. You get all of these things. Now, the lister has said that these are untested and they are 4 parts. So there's a high likelihood that a lot of these things are not going to work, but just because they don't work doesn't mean that there can't be money in this listing. And I'm going to show you why. I want you to guess which one of these items is profitable, because there's something in this listing that is worth more than what the seller is asking for. And I'll give you a second. If you pick this tiny little keyboard thing attached to the Xbox One, not the controller, but the thing attached to it, you would have been right. This is called a chat pad. Chat pads allow users to type full sentences without using the analog stick. And you'd think that something like this wouldn't really go for a lot, but if we look up on eBay, if we look up Xbox One chat pad, this model number I'm familiar with, it's 1676, so I only want listings that are like that. There are 6 listed, which is not really that great. And in fact, if we only do used ones to get rid of that, we're down to 5. But here's the kicker, folks. There are 37 listing. That is insane. That's over a 3,000% sell-through rate. And look how much they're going for. 85, 100, 80, 85, 67, 85. This one little accessory, which this seller probably thought was worth $5, is worth $85. So this is definitely something we're interested in. However, just because this is $85 doesn't mean that we should be paying $70 for this. But because there are other stuff in this listing, let's see if we can find more profit in here. Let's look at these Xbox 360 controllers. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this lot. Now let's assume that they're all broken. Every single one of these controllers is broken. We're going to go into the other page. And we're going to type in Xbox 360 controller. We're going to do 4 parts. Parts only. And we're actually going to do lots. So we're not selling each individual one. So there's 389 lots available with 106 sold. That's not great. It's only about a 30% sell-through rate. But you can see here that once you average out everything, each 360 controller goes for right around $7. So if each 360 controller goes for about $7, and we have 7 available, it'll go for right around $49. So we'll take our calculator, we'll add 49 plus the 85 for that chat pad, and we have $134 worth of inventory here. That is only $75. So I think that's good enough. And also, we're assuming that every single thing here is broken. If we go into the seller's actual account and we look through his items, you can see that this guy doesn't just sell video games. He's kind of an everything seller. This guy probably goes to a lot of thrift stores, yard sales, maybe even buys some storage units, and pretty much sells anything that he has. Meaning that there's a good chance that this guy is not able to test everything. So he's just saying that everything is broken so that you know what you're getting into. Him saying that things are untested as is might be correct. There are a lot of people that will say things are untested, but really they did test them and it turns out that they're broken just so they can squeeze in a few extra dollars of profit. But when this guy says it's untested, I actually believe him. And I have the means of both testing these controllers and also repairing them if I need to. So we're just going to assume that there's only $49 worth of profit here, just in case they're all broken. Worst case scenario, they're all broken. I know this chat pad's not broken. You would have to throw this against the wall for it to be broken. The controller may well be, but this is not broken. I know that's not broken. So let's keep looking. Do controllers, if they're broken, they're not worth anything. I've already looked up things like this in the past. If a Duke controller is not working, it's not worth anything. But this is a PlayStation 3 controller. So let's look up that and how much they're worth when they're also broken. So we're going to go into parts. There are 1,500 listed. And let's get rid of lots, because I don't want, still 1,500. So a very bad sell-through rate, which is not great for what we want to do. So just looking through here, they go for right around $6. but because of the low sell-through rate, I'm not going to include it in the price. Now, all that there's left is this Xbox One controller, so let's see how much that goes for, assuming it's broken. So we're going to go parts, 155 sold with 737 listed. That's not great, but in a pinch, it'll be fine. We can see that, well, we got to get rid of series also. We can get the full picture. 89 sold on 495 listed. That's not great. So we can see here that most of these are actually series controllers. So we can pretty much determine that this is not really worth much. You can see that there are some that are selling for 10, some selling for 9, but it's not enough where I justify adding it to the total. So let's keep going. It does not seem like there are anything else that will really add value to this. So I think we're done here. So we have 134. We're going to multiply that 0.7. And we're going to minus it by 76 because that's the out the door price when you include tax. So $17.18 of profit. We're going to divide that by the $132 of revenue. And our profit margin will be 13%. Like I said, I like to stay at right around 17%. So what I'm going to do is I need to calculate how much money I would have to offer this guy in order for it to be 17%. So how much is the tax? Tax is about $550. That's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 132. I'm going to multiply that by 1.75, say. So it's about $23. So about $23. So I'm going to do 132 times 0.7 for my after fees revenue. And then minus it by 23. And I need to offer this guy $70 out the door in order to be able to afford this with the profit margin I'm looking for. And because he's offering 70, I only need to minus this by about $5.50 in order for him to give me the listing that's going to make me my profit. So we're going to make our offer. We're going to put it, let's say 64. So I just offered him 62. I took out a couple extra dollars because I think he'll accept it, just because this is kind of a weird listing and only someone like me is going to buy this. So hopefully he'll accept it. If not, I'll probably just end up paying full price because I think I can get a really good amount of money for this chat pad here. So I sent the offer and yeah, that's about it. This online arbitrage is a really good way to make money. All you have to do is know what to know. You just have to be able to put in the grind, put in the hours needed to get really familiar with gaming or any other kind of niche. You can do this with makeup, you can do this with cameras, you can do this with sneakers, you can do this with pretty much anything that is laudable on eBay. And yeah, it took me about 3-4 months to really learn how to do all this and be able to skim through listings easily, because the last thing you want to do is be caught up on every single listing that you look at, because the longer it takes you to go through all the bad listings, the less likelihood that you're going to be there when the good listings do pop up. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is definitely a very, very long video, but it's very detailed and not a lot of other YouTubers are going to be able to tell you all this information because they're going to be afraid that you're going to steal their listings or anything like that, but I'm not too worried about that. There's enough money for everybody in this world, so I'm not too worried about that. If you guys liked this video or found anything interesting or worth value, please leave a like and subscribe and comment whatever kind of listings that you found. But that's about it. See ya.